I think it had something until it didn't.
Was that something sex appeal? Ah, it's a dumb name.
It's not sex appeal, Dustin. It's sex app.
Listen, just because they added a P doesn't mean I have to say it
App.
like a dickhead, okay?
Little.
It's like those people that would say it's GIF. No, it's a fucking G, you asshole. Become a linguist, and then you can tell me how shit's pronounced, you fucking programming dick.
App appeal. Appeal.
You know what's appealing to me?
Appeal.
Let's movie. Am I taking the lead or? All right, I got it queued up.
Oh, sex appeal.
Sex appeal.
Sex appeal.
Say it with me, everybody. Sex appeal.
2022, a TVMA. It's an hour and 30 minutes. It's a Hulu thing. This is twice I've been just duped into some Hulu shit.
Hulu's where all the Fox movies that Disney bought go to die.
Because Disney was like, what do we do with this?
They're like, what do we do with this other app that we have that streams the shit that we don't care about? Put it on the Hulu.
Taylor Olstein is the director. Tate Hannock is the writer. Stars Mika. Jake Short.
Mika Abdallah. That's an easy one. I got that
one. Margaret Cho, Rebecca Henderson, Madison Kershaw, Paris Jackson, yes, the very same, and Artemis Indi. A lot of people, comedians, may or may not know. Yeah, it's
It's got a cast.
It's got a cast. There's people in it. They're on the other side of the camera doing the acting and it's a boner comedy, but it's not. It's written and directed by women, so it has the female
perspective.
Yeah, exactly what I would like to think on a boner comedy. So there's a little about face there, but I think it doesn't work as a boner comedy. I feel like because there's a boner comedy aspect of just, I know it's like, it's a total guy thing. It's a guy genre, a male genre, however you want to put it. And I think there's a good portion of idiotic stupidness that has to go with those things, where you're just kind of like, man, these guys are borderline dumb, like borderline their brain does not function. But when
like
you're
an actual
growing
teenage
up,
boy,
exactly, everyone knows that teenage boy, or they are that teenage boy, or have those friends to some degree, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they kind of blur, and that's why they always kind of fit the bill. Does it work nowadays? Air quotes, old guy talking. I don't think so, because I don't know if the audience is there for that. I think they are, but I don't think everyone's pining for that kind of entertainment. You know what I mean?
It's something that cycles around,
Right. Okay.
And it's just people are trying to get it going, but it's not there yet. It needs more time to breathe. The late 90s and early 2000s, man, they were the fucking Marvel movie of the generation there, just pumping them out left, right, and center. Like you can turn around without being slapped with a dong in the face in some sort of fucking movie. I mean, they were coming out like every 2 to 3 months, either on the movie theater or direct to DVD at the time, if you could think of such a fucking thing before streaming.
It looked like a CD, but you put it in a thing that looked like a VCR. But
Shut
that was
your old ass mouth. Don't talk about that.
No, yeah, you're right. They were a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And
I mean, American Pie was so successful that they continued the movie theater one and also had just like the branding for one that made no sense, where they're just like, we're just doing other story. We're just greenlit a bunch of other stories.
Yeah, they kind of wanted to do that National Lampoon thing before all of that.
Which also did that in the 90s too.
Yeah, but that was before National Lampoon. That branding got passed around from different companies that wanted to kind of do that. So they had actually a branding issue towards the end of the first run, if it makes sense. But yeah, but no, that's what the American Pie thing was, I mean, and I didn't even like American Pie. I thought they were kind of terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the one that everyone likes, I didn't like, and it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit the spot for me. It
Listen,
didn't hit
it
the
was
fun
a
enough.
movie of its time. I watched
Definitely,
that because I was of
definitely.
the same age,
Sure.
and at the time I enjoyed it. You could not pay me to watch that shit now.
Right, right. I
Like,
agree.
no, I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I saw it when I was of age of seeing that. So,
And I think
like, I
when
wouldn't
he
even recommend it to people of age right now to
no,
watch
people
it.
are
You'd be
just
like,
like,
oh God,
why
this is
would he
trash.
not stop talking about it? Please shut the. We know because he keeps.
American Pie. But see, that's the thing, Kevin. I go with this though. It is a boner comedy eh,
It's a
mixed
bonerless.
with
It's a
a John
bonerless comedy.
Hughes rom com.
Okay,
And it's very unsuccessful at doing that. I
so
will be plain and frank and say it's very unsuccessful at merging those two together.
and I can't agree more, but I will give it this. The last the it, I mean it's a little it's too long by 10 minutes,
Yes, it is.
but towards that last act, I liked that movie. I liked that story with those characters with what they were trying to do. I didn't like the first 115 minutes or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like that whole I didn't like her character of being extra stiff and nerdy, but not nerdy, but just very above everything. I didn't like the presentation of her. I liked the Larson character. I slowly liked her when her walls came down. I think that needed to be the struggle, not internally, but a little bit more externally. I didn't need like the Mama Debs. I mean, I slightly chuckled on some of the way they phrased them. I think if she was a different character, I would have really dug it. If it would have leaned more to the drama and stopped trying to be funny because I didn't laugh one time except for where she said, I'm gonna punch you in the nuts, and he's like, I kinda need him for what you want me to do. And I was like, he does.
Really?
Yeah, no, because I like the Jake dude, the actor Jake Short. I think he did a really good job of
He,
being
yeah,
kind of
he
the
fucking jobs out for this movie. He really does. Like,
he
without him,
does
there's no fucking movie. He's just like, I'm
he's
gonna
very
job this
I,
shit.
I would like to say he is very good in this. I think he does his part perfectly, sublimely. I didn't know if I would like him immediately when he's introduced. I was like, "Ay, cringy." But then when he kind of does his thing and he becomes vulnerable, he's good in those scenes. I believe him. I believe his desire and his love for this person. And I was like, "Whoa, okay." Like, but it only hits me in the last part. And I love that he stood his ground. And I was like, "Oh man."
I'm going to call it the bittersweet ending just to not ruin
Yeah,
it too early because obviously we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie.
of
And here's
course.
the thing, Kevin. I don't dislike the bittersweet ending. I
No, I
think
thought it
that's
was great.
great.
Yeah,
But that's for a completely different movie.
exactly.
It did not match. Like, I liked it, but I don't think it worked with this movie, you know?
No, it
And
didn't.
so in that regards, I don't like it because I was like, well, what the fuck? Where'd this come from, movie? You were not doing this before.
No, like
And I
through
could
and
fix
through.
this movie with two things. Get rid of StimCon, because first of all,
Yeah.
it just deflated the movie every time it was mentioned. And keep the movie like don't have her travel. And the movie has to stay in the town. And it would have been way more successful, I think, with the story.
Put the time frame of her just going away to college and that
Yeah,
like
that's all
make
you need. A high school boner comedy, you have the ticking clock of college.
the ticking clock of leaving for college, summer college, whatever, we're out, and then this is it. It's all or nothing right now, and then you got to navigate an adult-ish relationship after this. Are you ready?
Yeah. Because
That
that is the epitome of the high school struggle. No matter what
right?
anyone says, that is the struggle every single school student will go through to
Unless
some
you're a
degree, you know.
dateless, sexless loser.
In which case you're still dealing with it. You're dealing with the fact that you are desiring it even more, you know? So,
And that's what I really wanted this movie to do. I wanted it to be the last 15 minutes. It needed to be more fucking that what was that? It needed to be more Garden State than fucking what it was. You know what I mean? Where it just,
Jesus.
but it's
I
not
fucking
so.
threw my mom against the dishwasher. She banged her head. And I lived with that guilt. No,
No,
she
not that
did.
part though. Just more of
No,
the
that's
kind of,
Garden State.
yeah, just not
I
that
got to that
though.
part and I was like, oh, this movie's instantly ruined for me because what a piece of
Because
shit.
I mean, dishwashers kill again.
I was like, goddamn dishwasher.
99%
Like
of
if she
accidents happen in the home. I read that somewhere, and then I made that number up in my mind.
if she just closed the goddamn dishwasher.
Dude, make it that movie. Take Avery's character and don't make her such a tool, because when you let her act, I think she's kind of vulnerable, adorable, like pitiful. When she has that kind of click where she's like, "Damn, dude, I just fucked this up with this relationship. Like, what do I do?" Like, and it's not about being something number one in some
Yeah.
sort of fantasy science land.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop you before you get too far fucking
Yeah,
ahead.
because that's
Because I
only
want to talk about that too, but I think we need to build the audience up a little.
and I did kind of laugh at one of not Mama Deb, Mama Kim's jokes. She said something very deadpan and no sold it, and I was like, "Was that supposed to be a joke?" I chuckled. I don't
Which
think I
one
was.
was that one? Margaret Cho or
That
the?
it's the short hair one, the only sensible one.
Oh,
Where
right, right. Well, see, I like the other one.
Mama Sue's is a little too on, just kind of does. I know she's a
That's
stand-up comedian, but she just
yeah,
does her thing, and we just kind of go and scene. And Margaret Cho was just being Margaret Cho, and
kind of, but not really. I was just like, is that Margaret Cho? I was
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even recognize her at first.
it was
I was like, I
Rebecca.
know that's supposed to be her.
Yeah, it was Rebecca Henderson. She had just kind of like her kind of awkward delivery on some stuff made me kind of chuckle, but neither here nor there.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't even remember. Oh, the movie begins
In the
where it's
beginning, at the
partially
end,
going to end. Yeah.
I
So
hate that dude.
it was completely unnecessary because this
Yeah.
opening is awkward as fuck. She's walking on the stage, they're announcing her as last year's winner of STEMCon. She explains what STEM is, which is really just a public school bullshit to make you feel smart, which is I felt sorry for her. I was like, oh, someone feels like this is a good thing. No, it just means that your school has different funding. That's all.
Boo! Get to the sex part.
Anyway, she goes out. She's clearly got stage fright of some kind going on. I don't know. And then it's just like, let's rewind the movie. And it shows her pulling up to a student of the year parking spot. What the fuck was that, Kevin? What school ever fucking had
Dude, I
that?
don't know. I was like, is this
How are they
Canada?
not egging her instantly
Are
when
we
she
not in
pulled in?
Canada?
Like, I would just be throwing eggs every day. Like
I mean,
every day that like would be
the eggs are expensive, dude. I don't. Are they
vandalized.
like free range or?
I mean, when you're in high school, like the cost of eggs doesn't really equate to you. You're just like, it's fucking $4.99. That's fine. This is great. This is a great deal. I'm gonna throw one a day. I got 12 in here. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good. Why
like
did I get organic? I gotta get the egg beater ones. Never mind. We're gonna go
for
$2.99,
school.
and I'm gonna have 24.
Okay, he's an egg guy. I shouldn't have said it, everyone. I'm sorry. For school to be such, I get it didn't do a typical high school tropes of the cliques and the geeks, nerds,
Yeah.
squares, jocks, whatever,
I
stoners,
mean,
middle. So I thought I the school dichotomy was just kind of odd to me. Like she was just friends with everyone, and everyone just existed in this.
it seemed like actually a very small school. So I kind of got that because that it reminded me of my middle school where everyone really was. There were no cliques then because there wasn't enough people. Like it was just like you're on this half of the room and you're in this half, and the seating
Oh,
was arbitrary. You know, and then
The jock guy had the jock guy had a couple of funny
yeah,
moments
fucking the
with his
25-year-old high schooler.
yeah.
Jesus Christ,
He
that guy. I was just like,
I mean he quoted T Swift, so I was like, all right, he's the best character now. Good job, everyone.
that's how you get through to Kevin. Quote
No,
T Swift.
the good stuff.
I was gonna make a bad timely joke, but it's not worth it. Anyway, and so then yeah, we're going through our high school and we're just kind of seeing stuff. I didn't really get it. It was almost like they were moving backwards, but she was moving forwards, or
She was on another level, bro. She's
another
like, you see that new
level.
Matrix? Fucking eat a dick.
She's like, fucking Gen Z doesn't even want the fucking blue pill. They want the red pill. Which one stays where you are? They want that one. They
Which
don't want to
one?
know it's a fucking virtual reality.
Which one frees up housing so I can have somewhere to live? I want to work 4 days a week. Fuck you.
Should have been born in Iceland. Suck it, motherfucker. I'm like, oh, got me
Okay.
there. Got me there, stupid American parents. Anyway, and then eventually, I mean, she's just kind of like going through her rap sheet here. This part was like lost on me because it wasn't entertaining. It was too informative, but not in a way that drove the story anywhere.
It wasn't making her likable.
It really wasn't doing anything. It was
It
just like,
wasn't
here's
like
some
with
stuff.
in Clueless with Cher as she tries to narrate her life in school and day and how she kind of moves through the world.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, this chick is oozing charisma. Let me, like, you know what I mean? I gotta, what? She's taking me into a world with this, hold my hand, run me through it all. And this was just kind of like, so you do what now? And you're a big brainy. Okay.
Yeah. You don't like the sex ed teacher?
Yeah, because she's
Which is
just like,
weird because, like, why? Don't you only take sex ed once? She'd taken it multiple times? Like, whatever. This is dumb.
yeah.
And I mean, eventually, then I think do we meet the parents or something? I don't
No,
know.
she's in the like school teachers lounge.
Oh, right,
And
for
she's
the
just like,
announcement.
STEMCon,
Yeah.
baby, we got to see what's crack-a-lacking.
And
They
then the
all log
writer of the
in
movie's there
live.
too.
Yeah, she's like, what's up, bitches? I'm on my own shiznit. I act, I dabble, I produce. Of course you do. And yeah, then they're live streaming the STEMCon, and they're just like, hey, guess what? You gotta make an app to fix one thing in your life. And she's like, but I'm perfect. Like, I'm this. I have no weaknesses. I have no challenges. I have no sense of growth. I'm a high
Yeah.
schooler.
And why, like, it's just so, it doesn't even make any sense because then the only other presentation we hear, clearly it was not a subject that affected his life because he was probably already scholarshiped up.
It was like real estate or something, right?
No, it was a way to get like funding for scholarships and shit. And I was like, he's already clearly got a full ride to fucking Harvard or whatever because
MIT, bro.
or MIT, whatever, because we already know that. Like, she clearly, like, I just didn't like that because it was very intentionally like, how do we get her to do this sex app when she's great at everything? Okay, we'll make it something she's bad at. She doesn't know sex yet, so she's bad at it. And it was just like, it felt so forced upon the story that I was like, oh, I don't really like that, Like, I just don't think they had to be like some personal problem in your life. I think she could have just gotten there with the way they did it anyway, just like make an app. And then she's like, what app do I make? Or like, make an app to better yourself. And then that's it, just like,
you know what? I could just picture Sharon. And then she's like, oh my God, I can make an app for fashion to help girls that aren't as lucky as me. You know what I mean? Like, she would make like an app so regular girls could be fashionable. That's what I mean. Like, I'm taking her into this timeline. So it would be something like that, but it would be her like recommendations, her stream. You know what I mean? Going like, she would be like, let me see your body type. Oh, you can wear this, this, and this. Nope, you're pear shaped. You need this, this, and this. You know what I mean? She would like help. I could see her doing something like that in this world.
Only if like the Futurama voice was just like, and when you said you're pear shaped, he was like, unfortunate.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have something like that, but we don't body shame, dude. It's 2022.
Hey, I said it's unfortunate and saying we were body shaming her.
Well, the app did though.
Yeah, it's saying it's unfortunate that you're pear shaped. I mean, we all live in that life, so some of us.
I mean, she buys her clothes. She knows it is.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't think you can't just interject Cher into this. But no, I do see the Cher influence in this. If that's
I'm just making my own story here, man. I'm not trying to like.
Yeah, but I don't want to see Clueless too. I read that comic book. It was horrible.
Oof.
Yeah.
Woof.
They went to Brittany Murphy's grandma's house where she was apparently a closeted lesbian. They helped her find true love, and then she died. And I'm not even joking.
Why is it anyone laughing?
Oh, that wasn't for laughs. That was for sadness. Anyway, so she sees what the app is. The school day's over. She's now at home in some weird, fucking super expensive computer whiteboard thing.
It's like some Tony Stark shit.
Yeah, I was just like, how do your
Color be abreast.
three lesbian mothers afford that? That's expensive.
You're in a nice house, dude.
They use that in fucking high-tech startups. Like, yeah, they had two houses next to each other. I was like, okay.
It was all that artwork the other mama did.
Yeah. The vagina artwork.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to create her problem. Her boyfriend from fucking the STEMCom boyfriend, what was calling that? He calls and he's like, "It's almost time, babe. It's almost time." And he starts to get a little like frisky. He's just like, "Can't wait to put it in you in the hotel." And she's just like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And she just awkwardly hangs up on him, pretending that's Frozen. And now she's like, "Oh no, he wants to have sex. I can't do that. I suck at sex. Uh-oh, get better at sex. Oh, there's my app. There's my app."
Modern day
Sex
problems
app.
require modern solutions.
Yeah. So then she starts pulling a weird science in the worst possible way and starts scanning the internet and then asking her AI, who she's copyright infringed upon, Spock, which is owned by CBS. So that's that's not cool. And Spock is just like butt plugs and other things to like.
Well, she tells him to scan. She's scan the
scan the internet.
Yeah, scan the internet and make me good at sex. What are the most sexiest things? Stuff like that to kind of get the edge.
Well, then she asks, "How do I have good sex?" And then he just starts listing things, and I was like,
"Well, he just says like fart, dick, monkey." He just says all these things, and I didn't slap my knee once.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Kevin. I thought about this later on because I was like, a lot of the things they say were pretty like, oh, okay, like this is a PG-13 movie that just got away with saying stuff like that. But I wondered, are we just too desensitized because we just talk like that all the time? Like if that was like the first time. But then also I'm like, well, high schoolers talk like that now. I mean, like it's not like I just showed up to high school and was the only one that talked like that. Like I was already talking like that in middle school with
Mom.
other middle schoolers. Fucking sailor of a mother. She's just like beep 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 beep. I was just like, damn, sensor bar's working overtime, Mom. But
I don't know.
I don't know if they would be so shocked to hear this stuff. So
I think you're missing that part. As in, look, it's coming from Spock. That's the funny part, right? But I don't know.
Was supposed to make me laugh. It didn't sound like him.
I mean, it was slightly reminiscent, so I gave him a tip of the hat for trying. I think it was supposed to be that is the humorous part of it, but I don't know if are kids into Spock.
No.
Like, is this demo going to be watching it going, yeah, fucking Spock?
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck, I'm turning into Star Trek Discovery. I watched JJ's fucking 1 and 2 Star Trek. Not the third one where Simon Pegg fucking shit the bed. That one killed it.
I think if we're hitting this demo for her and her generation, wouldn't it be maybe, I mean, this might even be pushing it more like a Bill Nye or the Neil deGrasse guy or whatever. Like,
oh, you're not gonna get him to say fucking vagina.
Well, like that's what I'm saying, but like someone in that ilk of, you know what I mean, like mocking it or a parody or you know what I mean. So everyone goes, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do." Yeah. But I was just like Spock, like, and I know they do a Klingon joke later, and I was like, really?
They do a Klingon joke, and then they make another Star Trek reference too. So I was like, apparently just big Trekkies, these writer and director,
Yeah, just nothing says nerd than Star Trek,
like
no matter
Spock.
what. Yeah, like
it's Star Trek.
You still like Star Trek? Yeah.
I mean, technically, they made 2 Spock references and 2 Vulcan references. So
he speaks Klingon, dude. In the
I mean, Klingon references. Sorry.
What? Cleo?
Klingon.
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 To my balls with your fucking
Oh, there it
correcting me.
is. Oh, okay.
Fucking. So anyway, she has her problem. She's just she's loading the data. So she's like, I need to talk to people. I forget when we introduce Lawson. Doesn't she just like talk to him randomly about
Larson,
like
yeah, Larson comes in.
Larson?
No, she's stuck. She has a brain fart. She doesn't know what to do. They meet up at school. They kind of have a riffing thing. She brings up that she has a boyfriend. He's like, oh, yeah. Then he gets introduced in flashbacks. I was like, hey, we've been buddies forever. He's always been kind of my muse. Anytime I've had these breakthroughs or these just, monuments in my life, or what do you call them? He's there. And
He's the test subject. But
yeah, he's the guinea pig. And even
yeah.
he's just like he kind of likes her. He makes his
Until
moves.
freshman year, yeah.
And then he kind of gives her up. He gives up the ghost because he's just like, you know what? And they kind of drift apart. But she knows hanging out with him is going to kind of get those juices flowing, no pun intended, and get her brain going. And then boom, she has the epiphany. I'll make an app to guide you to have the most perfect boot knocking night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it happens exactly like that, but good, close enough.
That's kind of the gist. But she doesn't know anything about everybody because she's just got no sex appeal. So she has to just literally interview everyone in school. That's when we get a hold of the Troy guy, is the 25-year-old high school student.
25-year-old high school student.
He's
humping iron all the time.
I would take him out of this movie and do something with him and the Jake guy. Or Jake Short, Larson. Give me those two guys. Let's go do a buddy comedy. But you're in school and you're buddy security guards on a college campus. And Trey and the Trey Quick guy, he's the vet. He's the super senior. He's like, so you can't graduate college? Or are you just going to be like a college security guy like your whole life? He's like, what's wrong with that? My old man was. Where's your old man? He's in the basement of the school.
He's in the basement. You know he's on the fucking basement duty on Mondays. Why would you?
Dad, you want watch? You better not be sleeping or beating off or other.
You know I'm doing all three.
Oh yeah, you son of a bitch. I love you, Dad. Don't ever change.
I won't. That's why I'm still fucking a nighttime security guard out of college.
Beat Daddy signing off. And then, yeah, exactly.
Oh, you can always know where Dad is on his walk based on the beating.
And the Jake Short guy, he's the rookie. He's like, oh man. And then he's like, and then the Trey Quick guy's like, yeah, man. He's like, stay with me, kid, and you're gonna go places. He's like, you mean like the basement beat your dad off? He's like, whoa. I mean,
we don't beat off Dad, okay? Sometimes we watch where we need a little, motivation
to keep living and be better than him. He's like, oh yeah, okay. And he's like, yeah. And then they just go bust all the frats, and then they do like a panty raid, but it's like at the frat, so everyone's laughing, stuff like that. And it's a Buddy Cops College Security edition.
That would have been a great movie in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, dude, that's got National Lampoon written right over it.
Yeah, Van Wilder edition.
Yeah, that's the National Pie edition.
That's the twist, everyone. Ryan Reynolds is the dad in the basement.
Boom, full circle.
Oh, got it. We're like, haha, he did it. He didn't leave. He stayed. Well, I don't know where we're at in this movie. Oh, she's interviewing people. They're saying things. She's very upfront.
I did
like that she did not.
The stoner buddies were kind of humorous.
Yeah, well, I didn't really find them funny.
They tried, okay, dude. They were trying.
That's the problem. I felt like they were trying too much, and it wasn't really like a good fit for them. But, they can't all be strong actors. That's all I'll say. But I did appreciate her kind of just that she wasn't trying to hide that she was making the app. I felt like that could have been she's just like, I don't give a fuck who knows I'm doing this, it is what it, like she's like, this is my path.
Well, that's true to her character, right? Because she believes she's above everybody, especially on the intellectual level. So this is just a springboard to get her away from these dumpy, stupid, small-minded people and off into her MIT career, building rockets and shit or whatever she wanted to do.
And I think at some point we meet the like she kind of talks about her sexual background. And it's not that she is afraid of sex or anything, because her 3 moms, not really sure the breakdown if there was 2 moms and then they got divorced and got a 3rd mom.
Okay, so it was Mama Sue's and Ma Deb. They were the moms,
Yeah.
but Ma Kim is Ma Deb's girlfriend. But they're split up. Ma Sue's and Ma Deb aren't together anymore, but they are to raise her. And then Ma Kim comes in for Ma Deb, which is Margaret Cho.
Thank you, Kevin. It was
You're
actually
welcome.
very well articulated.
Thanks.
And they live next to each other.
Yeah.
She supposedly splits her time 50-50, but clearly a high school student isn't going to keep moving multiple shit back and forth. But she does go to visit both back and forth to
I think it was an emotional 50-50, not like a Slater's 50-50. She was like, do I get the fries? The bun's kind of
And they're always yelling at her, name your feelings. Which,
real modern way to raise the children.
Annoying too. Like, just say, what are you feeling? Not name your feelings. What are you feeling? Why did I say it like an asshole? Name your feelings. I'm going to name this one Gumption. I don't know. I'm very confused by this question. But so now we've been... she's collected data. She's introduced the data. She started watching teen rom-coms, ironically from the 90s or late 90s, early 2000s. And she's gotten some guidance from her moms, and she's still stuck. Spock is giving her shit-ass data back,
Mm-hmm.
Because when you talk to a bunch of lying teenagers in high school, they give you bad data, and you just corrupted your whole pool there, and you got to start over.
Bro, you got to go to the 30-year-old girl that works in the theater that gets all the tang.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Paris Jackson. Was that who that was?
Yeah, sorry, Miss Jackson.
That was, yeah,
it was weird. Like, so this is how I know it's not a boner comedy, right? So if you had that old, like, if it was reversed, or even with this character, well, she treats it, she's very serious about it. She's very like this kind of like, like she says, I think she says like a Gandalf thing or something, like reference. And that's how she kind of plays
my
it.
Gandalf,
And I think if you would have had this in a boner comedy, it'd have been some greasy fat dude the kids are kind of scared of. And his name, like, he would have been like Dong Johnson, or big like Schlong Connery would have been his name, because he slings so much schlong, and all the kids would be like, man, this guy, he's like the schlong master. He's like, dude, I heard his dick fell off because he banged so many chicks. And then he like put it back on and he banged the rest. Whoa, you know what I mean? He'd have all these stupid epic tales, and then you go to see him and he's just like a schlub, and you're like, what? This guy doesn't know shit about anything. He just stays in those little phone booths where the screen slides up and down. He has to keep putting money in it. And he's like, yeah. What do you do when you run out of money? You're right on the edge. What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, you go home with the balls of blue. Everybody be like, oh, well, this guy's gross. But this one was like, she played it straight in a way.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
That's because she's not a good actress at all.
Well, no, that's because it's not a boner comedy. A boner comedy would have did what I said. Because the audience would have been like, that's a ridiculous character that's just kind of over the top and makes no sense. This one was like, all right, I can actually kind of see this happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was too realistic, yeah. And she gets some like good advice, I guess. And she's just like, yeah, measure your vagina, fucking figure out some shit you like, get a fuck buddy. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna, that's cheating. She's like, well, I mean, like, it's more for him than for you. So, like, get good or get gone, motherfucker.
Dark Souls ass shit, get good.
Yeah. And so she considers the fuck buddy part after sticking a beaker of some kind. No, a test tube After measuring her vajay with a test tube. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Fucking Ma Deb would have my ass. Her vagina.
Yeah.
With a test tube. And then she's just like, all right, I'm going to consider this fuck buddiness thing. And then she goes and interrupts Larson, who I related to a lot because I was also a band geek in high school. So I was like, oh, he's in band. It's great.
You guys touched your recorders together?
I mean, you mean me with Larson? I mean, absolutely. Our metaphysical recorders, even though he was playing a trombone. And
nah, the recorder stands for something, dude. It represents something.
Your ignorance on the musical instruments that you could have made a joke about. You could have said we bassooned together. You could have said we extended our trombones at each other. I mean, there's so many other things I
think most people when they were. I mean, hey, I chose
no one's playing a fucking recorder in band, okay?
Hey man, that'd have been funnier if he was, because then you could be like, oh look, he's he's playing the flesh flute. Boom. That's how you write boner comedies, everybody. No one does it anymore.
No, you just have the shitty friend who doesn't know musical instruments that says that all the time. And then you have the me character who's just like, no, motherfucker, I played this instrument. He's just like, all I heard was that you like to piccolo.
And
these nuts. Well, I thought you were going to jump in on that, but you were just like, I don't like that he insulted my joke.
No, I just thought the joke. I thought you had some more twists and turns.
I didn't. I let it die. Anyway, so meanwhile, Larson has been making eyes at this this girl that looks similar. I'm not gonna say that he has a type, but he has a type similar to our main character. And every time that the fuck is our main character's name?
Avery.
Avery, that's right. Every time Avery approaches him, she's always nearby, and he has to hide or duck out so that she doesn't ruin his image in front of her. And so he pulls her out, and she's like, I have chosen you. Let's pick up our experimenting ways. I have a sex app, and I want your help. And he's like, no, fuck off. That's ridiculous. And he just leaves her. And I like that. I like that. It was like, all right, yeah. Because it's very clear, I feel like, that his character was in love with her and has gotten over her, and friendships with people that you were in love with is very difficult, especially in high school, because you're just like, I pine for you every day because I can't get away from you. We're in high school together. It's like prison, but for kids. And what is she? She follows him out. Doesn't he eventually agrees because she just wears him down? And he's just like, all right, fuck it. Let's do this.
Well, she tries to prey on the fact that they had that history together, and he slowly just succumbs to it to help a little by little, and it just progressively he gets more vested, and she's still just left brain in this shit and doesn't care about anything, and he's just on an emotional roller coaster, and he's trying not to fall for her, but
not really. He almost instantly falls for her. It's just he's an emotionally geared person and she's an analytical geared person. And the problem with this movie is that it wants to turn her emotions on, but it waits and just flips it like a fucking switch at the end. And it really should have been like a dimmer switch turned up all the way through the movie. Because this is what started. And so then they meet in his room, which isn't, Kevin, that room is not up to code. Okay? Let me tell you. He cannot be sleeping in that room with a goddamn water heater. He's going to die from the CO2. Okay?
I mean,
that thing goes out and just starts pumping CO2. He's dead.
I'm pretty sure that was their second water heater that wasn't working.
No one's keeping a second. You fucking recycle that for scrap metal. You don't just like, I'll put it in Larson's room. He's going to fucking love seeing that every day.
I think Larson grew attached to it. They completed the room, if you ask me.
It was in a garage.
It's something.
And I have to say, his room was badass. I liked it a lot.
But the water heater is what really brought it all
No,
together.
yeah, because I don't want to die. Why do you think bums are found dead in water heater rooms, Kevin? Because of the CO2. All
Because
right.
they get sleepy.
Yeah, they get sleepy in the wrong place. They're like, it's warm over here. Oh, and I didn't wake up. So that's why if you ever find a bum in your water heater room, you fucking kick them out quick. You're saving their life. Now, if you want them to die, lock them in. I'm just saying, if you're that type of person, you sick fucks.
I think what I was trying to bring up is Avery has these moments of lowering her guard as she slowly
Mm-hmm.
does more research, and I think that's what gets Larson more slowly vested again, and because he was trying to shake her
Yeah,
off, he
yeah,
was trying to, but you see her becoming what he kind of would desire in a girlfriend, where she kind of just goes, "Oh wow," but it's not because she's spending time with him and stuff. It's because she's just making progress in her own way.
yeah. And her
She's
research.
being very selfish, and she's just 100% unaware of feelings and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think
Well, because she's still emotionally, what few emotions she has are invested in this other guy, you know?
yeah, and I think I don't think she's invested. I just think she sees herself in him with the whole, being smart and all these things. That like
Yeah.
just a mirror of herself. That's the only thing she likes. That's all she loves is herself. And I
Yeah.
think it would have served the character in the movie more. But like I said, it's two different movies here, and it needed to be really the latter because it's better that way. Because
Yeah.
the Mika girl and the Jake girl, they're good. When they're not doing these, when Avery's not being Avery, unlikable and just whatever. But when she's at the last part of the movie, she's fine. And I think if she had those ebbs and flows, it had pulled her deeper and then snatched her back, and she gets a little deeper with her emotions and slowly has that epiphany at the end. I think it would have served the characters a lot better, or her at least.
Well, the problem is she's better with other people, you know? It's less glaring her selfishness and everything when she's with
Right.
other people
Yeah.
because it's just they pull her character out of that. But
And very
so,
rarely she's never the funny one. She does some slight physical comedy,
well, yeah, they try to make her.
and she has decent reactions like facials and emoting when people say and do kind of off
Facials.
the wall stuff. Like she sells it pretty well,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So they begin a makeout session where they are kissing and such, and then they just kind of lay. And Jake's or no, Larson is he's trying to slow it down. She's very much just like, okay, let's do this, 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 and this, and like she's giving him a list, and it's like it wasn't funny when she said it, but he was just like, why is butt stuff above dry humping? You know, like that. That's probably the only time I was like, that's funny. And only because his delivery was good on
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
she's just trying to blow through this list, and he's just like, hey, let's slow it down. You know, he like tries putting on music and stuff. He puts on just a song that they performed for a concert that he enjoyed, and they just kind of go back to it. And eventually, he goes under the shirt and begins, I guess, sucking on her boob, you know?
I guess.
And I didn't mind that they chose to show this in a very kind of stupid, synchronized swimming way where it represented the nipple and the aorta. Aorta? No, the
Wow,
areola.
you're on your own.
Yeah, fuck you. That's because you don't know what it's called either. Um,
Areola,
and
dude. It's
I
areola.
already said it correctly. Thank you very much. You don't get to fucking repeat me after I did it.
Play it back, everyone. You're gonna be like this fucking guy.
You said it wrong and then you said it right. He's absolutely right. I don't know why that other guy can't remember for 20 fucking seconds.
I don't know what that guy can't say. Klingon.
Cling on to my balls with that shit again. And I think this was kind of, it's dumb. It's too long, but I appreciated the attempt. And I think if it was a boner comedy doing it, it would have been possibly hilarious, but it just didn't work because of how long it was, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
very funny. Visually, it's entertaining, but not like, oh, wow. Thank God they did this for 3.5 minutes of the movie.
I just think it doesn't. I appreciated the attempt as well. I just don't think it fits this style of movie
Yeah.
because I don't think this movie tonally knows really quite what it wants to do. So then when I get this, I'm like, what do
Yeah,
we?
this felt like a third fucking movie all of a sudden. We're just
Is
like,
this like
okay.
that part in Grease where she's
It,
singing about being a
oh,
beauty
yeah,
school
I guess.
dropout? That's what
Maybe.
I thought when I saw the bubbles at first, and then the
See,
boyfriend was there, and I was like,
I took
"What?"
it more like Charlie Kaufman, like we just got fucking surreal here for a minute. I was like, what the fuck?
And that's the thing is like if I'm thinking that in the movie instead of going, I could totally feel this tonally. I I just kind of go, oh, I'm kind of wondering what the inspiration is more than enjoying what you're showing me.
Yeah. So they finish and he starts to go downtown and she stops him and she's like, all right, we're good for the day. And just kind of leaves him hanging in the wind, you know. And she's back to putting her data in, and it just kind of continues like this, where she gives and gets. She talks to her mom's some more. She eventually talks to the boyfriend, and then she continues to meet up with Larson. And the next one is she talks to Paris Hilton again about penises and stuff, and just now she's obsessed with
Paris
seeing a
Jackson,
penis.
dude.
Huh? I said Paris Jackson. Who did I
You
say?
said Paris Hilton.
Fucking, they
Fuck
feel
'em.
like the same person at the same. I don't care. I'm not a fan of either. Uh, fucking Michael Jackson's fake daughter. She goes back to
Oh,
see
come
her.
on,
Yeah, I'm
man.
calling it out. Come on, no one's looking at
Holy
it, but like, oh
shit.
yeah, I can see the
Holy
blood
crap.
relation there.
Oh, wow.
Come on, give me a DNA test. Prove it.
Jesus.
He bought those white children. We
Oh
all
my
know
God.
We all know it. This isn't news. No one's like, we can all pretend. All right. We can keep being cordial and pretend, but I refuse. I'm like, no,
Man,
no, no, no.
side
Any
edition.
geneticist will be like, no, nah, it's not. Anyway, so now she can't stop seeing dicks. She can't stop thinking about dicks. They do some really horrible fucking what do they call it, where they just show things that look like penises, like the cover of the Little Mermaid. And like they put two rocks by a fire hydrant. I was just like, that doesn't really work. And then they were like, here's a water tower, and I was like, barely. That barely works. I see more water tower than penis. I was like, throw some fucking squiggly fucking veins on there, or something. Like, come
This
on.
guy's a fucking city planner. He's not going to see dicks in any of this.
And then so eventually she just runs back over to Jake's, busts into his room, which is in the garage still, by the way.
He's dead, everyone, because he passed out.
He's dead. He fucking took a long nap and the water heater kicked on one too many
His real
times.
name's Jake. His character name's Larson.
But you keep saying Jake and it's fucking me up, man. Got Paris Hilton.
I was booking him
fucking
into
Jake Short.
the buddy.
She goes to see Larson and she's just like, whip that out. He's just like, hey, whoa, he's shy. He needs some encouragement. And this part was good because she's like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's cute. That's adorable. And she's like, oh, it's going away. Where's that? He's like, yeah, don't say that shit to it. And I forget what she says to it that makes it like pop back up. But then we go into this. She's giving him a hand job. And we go into a space launch thing. And this part, again, could be really humorous, but it just goes on for too long, and it's very surreal, and this really like kind of super grounded movie, and you're just like, okay, whatever. And then he pops it off, and she's like, all right, gotta go, bye. And he's just like, what the no, I want to it's not really good sex until it's good for both of us. Like, let me return the favor. And then he's like, what do you like?
What a courteous lover, everyone.
I know. I related to Jake a lot. Okay. I'm going to put that out there, everybody. Sorry. Larson. All right. Anyway.
Jake's like, I'm a real person, dude. You need to start sourcing that.
I am not a courteous lover. And so she kind of panics when he says, "What do you like?" Because she does not know what she likes. And so back to fucking Michael Jackson's fake daughter to ask for more advice. And she's like, "Yeah, you got to get some coconut oil and just start cooking down there."
You just start jilling off.
Yeah, just gets a fucking jacuzzi jets and just boom, boom, boom. Just get
Pour
to it.
fucking boiling water on your fur burger and just go for it.
Yeah, so she tries a cooking oil, and then her boyfriend calls. She accidentally answers it, and she like flings it off her hand. And I was like, that should have been a lot more funny than it
Should have been
was.
on the screen, on the camera.
Exactly. Fucking commit. He's like, "What is that?" She's like, "Gotta go." And then, like, entice this guy that he's like, "Oh man, she's getting ready,"
Yeah, dude. She just flung a whole bunch of girl goo on the screen.
He's like, "I don't even know they could do that, but I'm fucking interested." And then she's in the jacuzzi jets, and this part was probably the only part that made me laugh, as she burns her vagina because
on the tub or whatever.
Ma Sue or whatever because does a flush. She's just like, "How about a courtesy warning?" And
what is this house built in the fucking 40s?
Yeah, I was like, you have a jacuzzi tub, but the plumbing's affected. No, you have modern fucking plumbing that's not affected by this toilet flushing. Also, that was a hell of a lot of water on the floor. Like, what the fuck? You gotta clean that up. It's gonna bleed through to the second or the first floor.
No, you already got mold. It's too late.
Yeah, they do. That's how she's tubba-dubba-dubbing. Nah. Yeah. But then she's putting like some peas on her fucking crotch and shit, and talking to Larson because he calls, and he starts speaking Klingon, and she starts to get aroused, and then he starts talking about. And this part, like, I felt was on point, but also it really perfectly shows her character. He starts talking all about her, and it's turning her on.
Yeah.
And I was like,
there's a name for it in like psychology or something.
Yeah. I forget, it's that Greek god who died looking at himself in the water. I don't know, it's a long night, and I've butchered enough names, so I won't try again. But and then when he brings up StimCon, she sees her internet boyfriend, and then she loses her stroke and hangs
loses her girl bone.
Yeah. Hangs up on Larson and is just like, "Okay, we're done there." And then I think we go through, we do some more fucking interviews and shit, I think, and eventually we get to the point where she's like, "Okay, and I think I know what I like, and I'm ready for him to." Narcissist. Yeah, well, that's one of the things. Yeah, definitely a narcissist.
That was the guy, Narcissus or some shit.
Oh, okay. And so now Jake is going down on her, and again we
munching it.
Yeah, he's exploring all the walls and crevices, and they've decided to do this one. Okay, so we had like a rocket
Everybody
launch.
ready?
You ready? A fucking pink corridor. And he's just like rubbing on walls, and he's doing his best to sell this as not an asshole doing this. And this is the only part where he fails at, because you could tell he was just like, "I feel really fucking dumb." He's like, "How about over here? How about over here? I'm Scooby-Dooing this shit. I was over there, now I'm over here." It's dumb. He finds a door, he rubs the door, and then he's like, "Oh, there's some water coming out."
Here come the waterworks.
Yeah. And
I was like, "Oh, is she a squirter? That's behind a paywall. That's your sequel."
Sex appeal $4.99. And and then she arrives. She's happy as a clam. He's like, "All right."
She arrives?
She arrives.
She arrives?
Yeah.
Hey, babe, you arrived yet? I got all night. My back hurts. I got a kink in my neck, girl. You need to arrive already.
Why is this the strangest thing I've said tonight? She arrives.
if there's
I'm pretty sure I didn't make that up. Okay.
oh, I'm gonna leave a big arrival in your mouth. Everybody's like, what the fuck?
No, it's only for women. They arrive. They
Yeah.
arrive at orgasm.
They arrived. She arrived. The little man in the boat arrived, and now he's
Yeah.
just like, "What am I doing here? What's all this fur burger nonsense?" That's
She did wash ashore, and it's disappointing.
like guys using weird words for cub. What is he, some sort of brainiac?
That's a weird word for cum. Arise.
Guys,
Arise.
I've heard these past episodes. This is the nastiest bitch in the internet. And all of a sudden he's saying arrives like he's in church. What the fuck is this?
How many fucking times can I say fucking I mean, you already brought up squirter. Where can I go from
She
there?
arrived to
I gotta
climax.
fucking, unlike this movie, I gotta bring it back and then we push it forward. We bring it back and then we push it forward. Okay,
Until you arrive.
until you. Jesus Christ.
What the?
Anyway, so Larson's trying to, I mean, he figures she's riding in the.
I thought he was gonna lean back, wipe his mouth and shit, and spit to the side. He's like, "I hope you liked it." I'm like, whoa, Larson turned a new leaf. He's a freak, daddy.
But he's just like, all right, I got some pina colada. They keep making this horrible pina colada condom joke. They make it 3 fucking times. It's horrible. And he's like, I think I got pina colada condoms over here. And she's just like, no, I'm not having sex with you. That's, saving that.
Come on, girl, I gotta beat that kitty up.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I thought
You
we were
see
going
a cat just
round
pass
2.
out from the CO2. He's like, uh-oh, that's kind of like a canary in a cave. We should get out of here.
Mittens is dead again? Oh, I thought he just had a headache like me.
He's dead again.
Yeah.
I brought it back like that Flatliners remake.
Yeah, exactly. He was seeing all sorts of jacked up shit, but
Like the Flatliners remake.
he had good stock tips. I don't know why, but I'm trying to remember what happens after this. I think
it's just basically a wash, rinse, repeat of these scenarios. And
we missed the annoying part in math class, where all of our characters she's been interviewing are all in one place, and they're all giving her advice and shit.
Yeah, and this 50-year-old student, fuck it, just no.
Like, I just want to say
the girl.
Oh, the girl. Oh, yeah. She's like, I can make myself orgasm right now.
And I was like, are you a teacher?
Yeah, I was like, hey, Narc, what are you doing in this class?
Yeah, I don't talk to narcs, narc.
Yeah, and she just starts fucking Meg Ryan it in the back, and I was like, why are we doing this? This isn't even remotely believable, nor does it make sense with the rest of this fucking everything going on.
Yeah.
And they're starting to make a bunch of math fucking boner sex comedy jokes. And
Franklin reads all the Cosmopolitan he can at Cosmo magazine. Yeah. He starts doing all these hand finger bang jokes. And as a viewer,
I'm fucking Hank. I was like, that's one of the pink, one of the stink, motherfucker. We don't call that the Hang 10.
Yeah, okay. No one said that.
No one says that.
Yeah, dude. The angry gorilla. Like, you didn't say any of the right things.
What? Yeah, he was like the Spock, the reverse Spock. I was like, no one wants to be Spocked or reverse Spocked. What are you talking about?
I didn't hear angry gorilla.
Blow out that
I didn't
fucking
hear pink,
vagina.
One of the pink, one of the stink. I didn't hear filibuster. I didn't hear any of the classics. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, it's for a new generation.
The janky juxtaposition. Nobody hit it with that. Strange.
Yeah, I mean, they really could have just ripped off Grumpy Old Men and just been fine, delivering the log to the beaver, just, I mean, that one's just full of classics.
I'll just give you one, though.
I'll just give you one. That's all I can remember, But anyway, I think, so at some point, Larson asks her to go to prom.
Yeah, he
She's
asked her. No, he asked her to go to the fucking
oh
Museum
yeah,
of
yeah.
Science, and I got 2 tickets, and I was just because he thinks they're kind of
Bioluminescence.
yeah, they're hanging out, they're kind of doing the buddy thing. He's emotionally progressing, she's emotionally progressing the other way. StimCon, rah rah rah, and then she's just kind of like no, and he's like, dude, fuck, I knew it. I wanted to take a chance. I was going
Yeah.
to just pitch it, and in my heart of hearts, I really hoping you were just kind of coming around because, like I said, she does have flashes of it, but he's
Yeah.
mistaking that for him when it's really for her progress for StimCon and her app. So he's just like, you know what, fuck you, fuck this, have a great Stim, whatever, I'm out. She
Yeah,
goes to
he's just like, I guess I'll go to the museum twice by myself
yeah,
because
because I don't really
yeah,
give a shit about this stuff. It was for you.
yeah.
So she goes to StimCon, and now we're back at the beginning of the movie. Her boyfriend, her internet boyfriend's there. They get all excited. It's really whatever. They test out her app. It's supposed to be this physical comedy of awkward sexiness. It's real whiskey dick session. Like
Yeah, it doesn't work because again, it's way too long.
it's too long, and
And
it's not cut tight for comedy. Like there's supposed to be this awkward comedy. And that's the thing is I don't know if it's just really the voice of the director and the writer, how they wanted it to play out. But I think boner comedy land, it doesn't fit. It doesn't land. It doesn't hit. You know what I mean?
no, and this part I almost felt like this should have been more dramatic. Like they're super happy, they're super into it, they're super excited. And then they kind of very analytically
Analytically. Yep.
yeah, there we go. Similar to what I said. Kind of just rush through it, and it's like she didn't learn any
Well, like the app's telling them what to do.
lessons.
The app's like kiss
Yeah.
passionately. I'm
Well, yeah, and then they're just like, okay, I did that for like point 0.5 fucking seconds.
well,
What's next, app?
I think
What's
it's fine
next, Spock
because
voice?
that's
That's
how
not
she
Spock.
thinks, right? She doesn't know how to do something, so she's built this crutch to bail her out of a situation that she's not good at. She's never not really been good at something. Everything like academics is her thing, so and now this can't bail her out because as what's his nut said, Larson, he's like, dude, it's like it's more than just sex, it's love, and that's what comes into it. And they debate
Yeah,
that with a couple of different characters in this, and she's actually the proof's in the pudding now, and she can't outthink or outsmart the love part. And that's
yeah,
what's fucked her up because she now a light switch goes on dimly, but enough to move our character and everything to a different movie that she cares for Larson.
yeah. And so she has, as most women do, and I'm probably sure this is written from experience of the writer or the director or both. She experiences bad first sex, which is common for pretty much anyone, I'd imagine, for the most part. So, um, and then they go their separate ways. She goes up to present her app. She gets stage fright, or not really stage fright. She just kind of realizes she can't present this app because this app doesn't work, and so she withdraws. Her boyfriend, soon to be ex-boyfriend, wins the competition, and she runs on home and is sulking, and
Well, yeah, because
the
she loses
mom's
a
got to help her.
yeah, she realizes she lost Larson as a friend. Everything she ever
Well,
trusted, it was her own brain power to
she
get it
doesn't
there. It
she doesn't
failed.
know that at this point though. She doesn't
Oh
know
no
that
no no
she's
yeah she
lost
doesn't
Larson.
yeah I mean she
She's
should
trying to figure out why she, was thinking about him and everything, and so she, the different moms take turns, and then like the one that Kevin likes, the awkward one, comes in. It's just like, you know, you don't have to like tell me your feelings, but like I'm just gonna sit here until you tell me to go, and I'll just be here for you, and that's gets her to open up, and she's just like trying to wrestle with these feelings that she has for Larson. And she's like, well, you don't have to name your feelings like they keep yelling at her to do, but maybe you should tell him, like
hmm
tell him your feelings. Um, and then so she gets this grand idea. She's gonna go to school, interrupt band yet again, fucking rude, and confess her feelings. She plays the song that they made out to on her phone, very John Cusack like, wearing a fucking trench coat, of course. It's just It's got all the horrible cliches that have already been cliched 100 times.
Yeah, remember though, that's all she knows from her research.
Yeah, but it's just like that's the part where I felt like this was out of character for her because she's only pulling the most notable ones.
Well,
And
that even
meanwhile,
though,
she's already like quoted 10 things I hate about you 100 times in the movie practically. I
I
mean,
mean, so
just doesn't
I
make sense.
no, to defend that, that's all she knows because she's tried to do everything she knows and it didn't work. The proof was in the app, the proof was in her emotions. So she's going back to the only thing.
But Kevin, why did she go for a grand display? It's
Dude,
completely out of character for her, regardless of those movies and
it's
everything.
well,
Like
no, dude.
the
It,
movie itself is tying those two things together, but her character and her emotional journey,
well, the
it
writing's
doesn't
tying
make
it
any
together
fucking
because
sense.
it's the easy play. That's the easy thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is the
And I
movie
get that, but why
lays
would
the
she choose
groundwork,
that
but the
one?
character, no, it
The
doesn't make
character,
any sense.
no, but the moment that the joke, the 20-year-old joke, that's
25-year-old.
what that was the point of the scene, not so much. Yeah, her character, you could say in the slight devil's advocate defense of the character, she's just doing what she thought was successful in the movie, so she's just gonna do that because there was, i.e., a music relation to it, right? And she had to do a little modern twist where she pulls up her Spotify and pulls the Christmas song, whatever it was there. I get it, man. It didn't work. It was bad
Yeah.
because that's the boner forces weakened this one. See what I did? The 45-year-old movie. But that's and that's where the movie's well, that's just more of it fumbling, right? Fumbling
Yeah. Well,
around
it's not
and
even done fumbling. So he takes her
no.
out of the room, and then she opens the trench coat, and boom, she's like, "Let's go to prom." And he's like, "You don't want to go to prom. You hate prom. You think it's stupid. Why are you asking me to prom?"
This is what I like. This is the part of the this is where that part I like start liking the movie because I really dig the way Larson's
Yeah,
character starts acting. And I was like, man,
because he knows her. He knows her, and he
yeah,
knows that
exactly.
she's not being genuine to herself, and he hates it.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm like, why is she so out of character? Because I get that she's like having this flood of emotions, but I don't feel like at her core she would stop being insanely logical person she would be. But I'm
Well,
gonna move on from that because that's the point I'm making. Is like I don't feel like she fits into this movie at this point. This character that we've been watching. Um, but she's got the Parody in Pink reference, and he's just like, no, I'm I'm gone. I'm done. I fell in love with you. You did not receive me back, and now I can't do it anymore. And she's like, well, what are we supposed to like date? I'm gonna go to MIT. And he's just like, you're not supposed to think about that. You're supposed to think about me. And he just kind of just like cuts an emotional promo on her of just like, you are so up in your own head that you don't even know what you want, where you're going, or what's important. So
he
and
he
he and
checks
he's
he
just like,
checks her
I'm done.
sensitivity. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has these emotions. She doesn't know what to do. She just fires them off at these quick fixes. And he shoots them all down because he's like, that's not you. That's not enough to win me. That's not enough.
Yeah. And then so she's left in tears, and she's out on a roof just randomly, which I thought this part I was like, why did we randomly go here? This is never a location established before of like in this journey. Like we've all the other locations we've been to multiple times. This one we're just like roof. Like, all right. And then the sex ed teacher that she's like enemies with is comes out there. She's just like, why are you in my chair? This is where I come out to smoke a joint and fucking breathe clean air.
No, she says this is where I could have smoked and cry.
I was smoking cry. And then she sees her crying. She's like, ah, fuck. All right, you're in the crying chair. Why do high school student or teachers just want to cry? Probably because of high schoolers. Um, and then she just opens up to this person lives in a very different world than her. They're very much at odds because they're personality types. Um, which I did like this part because I felt like that sometimes that's what people seek out. They seek out someone who understands them but doesn't like them per se, and they have this weird like bond for a moment where they can relate because life is just relatable. And sex ed teacher hits her back with some deep knowledge of like, sometimes like basically like, hey, you were selfish. You didn't consider other people's emotions and you need to. But also not every person is going to be, stick around through that. Some people are just there to help you on your journey and you to help them on theirs type of thing. So kind of a like, you know, you're just here to help Larson to find the right person for him, and he's here to help you get over being a selfish prick. So
Get off my roof.
yeah, now get off my roof. You have 10 seconds. And so then, she's still sulky and sad and stuff because she's, she had at this point we know that she's lost Larson. He's not going to date her. He's not going to be friends with her. He's he's had this like friendship since they were like 4 years old or whatever, and he's had this crush on her for probably half that time at least. And then she just used him for her own advancement like she's always done, and he's realized you're not a healthy person for me to be in or a relationship with. So and then she goes and finds the girl he's also been kind of pining for and tells her basically like, just fucking go ask him. He's not going to ask you because he's all hurt and emotional and shit, And I liked this scene, Kevin. Do you want to take over this scene where she's like, "Hey, cute girl, do you have a personality?"
Yeah, I didn't mind the scene. I just thought the performances were stiff here.
Well, yeah, because the character that we finally let talk is just like, by the way, I'm a fucking different person now, and I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I think
I liked what they were trying to do. I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
what they were
hate
trying to do was, it just I think their interaction just didn't hit it off very well. Like, I don't, chemistry is the theme of this movie, right? But I don't think that they had it in that scene to kind of punctuate it at the end, if you will. They kind of like, hey, this is her not paying it forward, but kinda ish, just making everything right in the world for her. But yeah, she tries to be like, hey, go ask this guy out. He's a good guy. He's been hurt and he's worth it.
Well, no, I meant the part where she's like, "Do you have a personality?" And she's like, "I'm not just a cute girl. Like this."
Oh yeah,
and just like breaks down her stats and shit. And she's just
yeah.
like, "Okay, good, nice to meet you." And I don't know the character's name, so I'm gonna keep calling her cute girl. And I got what they were trying to do. They were trying to make her less of just like an object of desire. I just thought it was like too little, too late in the movie to do that.
Yeah.
No one cares
definitely.
now. Like,
She needed a couple other moments to breathe before we just kind of had that as our yeah.
And then we're off to prom, and they don't go to prom together. This is the bittersweet ending, which I liked if it wasn't a comedy. Like if this was just like a drama where we're just building this romance and it's one-sided, and then he realizes it and bails, and then it ends like this. Much better movie than what it was. But just
I'd even give you dramedy, dude, if I had some light-hearted moments. It didn't have to be like
heavy-handed boner comedy jokes.
Yeah, that's what I like. It's just the in and out of like, what are we doing with this? Like, if you would, because you could have some characters that are lighthearted or like kind of have funny retorts to situations, and that's about
like the moms were.
The moms
were kind of like that. They were lighthearted comedy.
You'd have to cut them in half a little bit because they would have been way too loud if this was a pure drama. You'd have to be like, all right, you guys got to bring that shit down to like a fucking 8. You're on like 12 right now. And I think it really would have fit. Like this movie needed to be the last 10 minutes of the movie to the whole movie.
Yeah.
If it would have found its way then, like from the jump, but it just had a lot of fumbling and awkward things in it. I think it would have been a lot more entertaining. Because, like you said, I think the two leads are fine. I think Avery's character needed a lot of work and maybe different motivations. Maybe the beat the clock thing. She needed something to kind of put some.
She doesn't fit in her own movie for like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. I totally agree,
and we needed to lose all the interview shit. To be quite honest, like it didn't do anything. It didn't help. All it did is just like show that this is a high school with other students. And I felt like that part was very much like an ode to late 90s, early 2000 rom
They were
coms.
just a bunch of exactly,
Yeah,
like
they're
a bunch
just
of
there,
characters. They're just
like, oh,
characters.
you might see the next Joseph Lovett Gordon in this, and it's like, no, not really. Not those guys. Um, but I mean, overall, and that's basically the end of the movie. Everyone, it's just they don't end up together, and they just give each other acknowledging looks at prom, and that's move on.
And Troy pulls up in a golf cart, and he's like, "Get in, pussy. We're going to college." I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm writing this one.
Yeah,
It's got no rating. You know what that means? No one cared to rate it.
Direct to the stream. I didn't have to. I just had to appease my producing masters. It's like, oh. But yeah, I mean, it's just I agree. It's just I don't. For me, it's like I like the bittersweet ending. I don't think it works because it doesn't blend well with the rest of the movie.
Mm.
I feel like the other 3/4 of the movie really leads to the conclusion that they will end up together, because that's the whole fucking movie they're building up to, And then that last fourth is just like, I'm completely different and a much better movie because of it. But I'm just like, these two don't go together, It's like the whole let's make John Cusack and Pretty in Pink fucking references, right at the end for a character where it doesn't fit for them, She never really proclaimed that she was a fucking movie buff or anything like that. And they mentioned fucking Hulu in a Hulu movie, which I was deeply yes. She said, is there anything you want to talk about? Like maybe sex or something? She's like, how do you know? And she's just like, because Hulu's algorithm recommended 40-Year-Old Virgin and something else. And she's like, fucking algorithm. And then she marched over to the other Ma's houses. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we're making a Hulu joke on a Hulu movie?
That's part of the deal, bro.
That's too fucking meta. Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Yeah. Fucking thanks, Zucker Suck. You fucking frog prince motherfucker.
Jeez.
He's a lizard person, Kevin. Yeah, you know he drinks water?
Oh, wow.
He's just like with his tongue all up in the glass. So he's buying most of Hawaii. So
I don't care. Fuck this guy.
You should be concerned.
I don't. He'll not on my radar. That's it. The Sex Appeal 2022. You can catch it on the Hulu, or just listen to us ramble about it. Was enough for you. It's pass for me. I assume it's a pass for the D-man here.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's just like I didn't actively hate the movie.
No, not at all.
I didn't feel the urge to turn it off, but I was never entertained. And that's like the worst thing you can have for a movie. I entertained.
Other than that, I could see the two leads if they were maybe in something else, because I think they did a fine job. I think they did a serviceable job. I would have liked to see the Mika chick, or Micah, however you say it, get a little bit more of a character with her. I don't know, and she looks like Clueless on the poster or something. Like, why did they Photoshop?
Yeah, she's very Photoshopped in the poster, but I think she has like a good overall look.
Yeah, she has a good look. She's competent performance. Jake does a great job, and I think just something else, just something, I don't know. I don't know what that else is. I already pitched my shit. No one's listening. But yeah, there's other things you can spend your time on. Just go ahead and skip-a-roo here. That's it. That's it, Dustin. We did it.
We did it. And you can find us on the social media.
Hey, what'd you call that guy?
What guy?
Joseph what?
Lovett Gordon or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's Jorson. Yeah, it's Joseph Gordon.
Gordon Levitt.
Levitt, yeah.
Levitt, whatever.
Yeah, you really took it to. You took him to task on that one.
He's fucking Joe Gord, okay? Jesus. God, this guy's busting my... Sorry for having a sleepy podcast, everyone. If you want to continue fucking listening to this shit and my co-host fucking just shit upon me, you can do so at Let's Movie Pod or Podcast, depending on the social media platform you pick. We thank you for subscribing. Share us with a friend. Share us with an enemy. I don't care. And you can listen to this a week later on YouTube. If for some reason you're just like, I enjoy listening to things on YouTube, and I want them to monetize my time on YouTube. Otherwise, we will return next week. Thank you. And for Kevin, I am Dustin saying good night in Cleon.